Hey everybody, just wanted to do a quick intro on the video. The video you're about to see it includes a guy that I've known for quite some time. He's a Vietnam veteran, and he spent some time in Vietnam and did what he had to do. He wanted to come in, tell his story, and just provide some of his memories on what went down when he was in combat. And I know that war is a real, hot topic for people. A lot of people against, a lot of people for. I can understand, But what I'm concerned with is that we're going to have some angry people who are going to try to crucify this guy in the comments. And I don't want that to happen. And the reason why I don't want that to happen is if you kill him in the comments, it's going to just make it tough for me to get additional guests. They're going to see that things went bad and they're not going to want to be on the show. So please keep your comments kind. If you do have something you want to say, then go ahead and say it. But, try your best not to go for a complete crucifixion. Other than that, I think this was a real good podcast. It didn't go on as long as I was hoping, but, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and he had some stuff to do. I had some stuff to do, but we broke away and took the time to do it. So, again, be kind in the comments. And, yeah, there's some graphic stuff that he's talking about, and, you'll see it. But anyway, have a good day, guys. And, if you're subscribed to the channel, thank you very much. If you like what you see and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Drop me a comment, and heck the like button if you want to. And look forward to seeing you in the next video, man. We're going to be busy this month. I got a lot of people coming in, and so we're going to be hanging content on a continual basis. And just catch this video. I think you're going to like it. And here comes the intro. Morning, everybody. I've got with me today Corporal Jim Kneedler from the United States Marine Corps. Jim fought in the Vietnam War between 69 and 70. And he's going to sit with us today and just talk about some of the things that he went through. And, I guess the tragedies of war and stuff like that. This is kind of a new thing for me, so I'm just going to kind of listen and see what kind of stories he's got for us. Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Hank?
Doing well, man. So tell me a little bit about were you drafted or did you join or how did it work out?
I joined
up,
yeah.
Huh? Wow.
Yeah. Well, the reason was if you were drafted, you were in there for 4 years, no matter what. Okay, but if you went down and joined, it was for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're trying to limit your time going.
Well, I had already started college, and I wanted to get in and get out and get it over with,
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But it never worked out that way.
So were you in Texas at the time that you joined, or were you
Oregon.
In Oregon?
Yeah.
Wow. So which boot camp did you go to?
The one in San Diego, MCRD.
Oh, really? Wow. And boot camp's what, like 6 weeks or something?
Well, that's what they say, but the Marine Corps boot camp had always been 6 months, okay? But to make it more attractive to us dumbasses, they said, oh, it's only 6 weeks. So you have 6 weeks of basic boot camp, then you have ITR, then you have BITS, and then you go back to finish the boot camp.
Wow, so really it's about 6 months then, huh?
Yeah, about 6 months, yeah.
I feel like they gave you pretty good training before you got there?
Yeah. I think a lot of the stuff they did was trying to be like mind control,
Really?
to change your attitude or whatever.
Yeah.
I learned real quick from the experience of another guy in the same platoon that one thing you never do in the Marine Corps is say, I can't. They will beat the crap out of you for that one.
So, I mean, I guess you're in with, 100 guys, 200 guys in boot camp?
Well, at that time, it was usually around 60.
Really?
Yeah. And the boot camp I was in, the platoon I was in, was the last platoon in the Marine Corps to carry a 14-pound dummy rifle.
What's a dummy rifle?
It's an aluminum stock looking thing with a pipe on it. Kind of looks like a rifle.
Just won't shoot?
No, there's nothing to shoot. You just got to carry it around and be able to do all the stuff you do with a real rifle, but they don't want you to have a rifle.
Wow.
They don't trust you.
Yeah. So you get out of boot camp. I guess you fly on a commercial airliner to Vietnam, and how does that work out?
No, I had to go to El Toro Air Force Base, and flew from there to Anchorage, Alaska. Okay. And all we had was the shirts on that we had while we were in boot camp in Southern California. So it was kind of warm, all right? And you get up to Anchorage, Alaska, and they park way out there on the outside of everything. So you got to walk a quarter of a mile to get to the damn hangar. By the time you get there, you're half froze, And then you get a couple hours goes by, to get on another plane, you fly to Guam. And that's kind of an experience, too, because as you're coming into Guam, you realize that, number one, it's a small island, and I mean small. And number two, the runway stops at the edge of a cliff that goes all the way down to the ocean. So you think, oh, shit, I hope they land this damn thing,
Yeah.
And then they put us in Quonset huts, those rounded buildings.
Okay.
And the next morning, they took us all over to airplane hangar. And when you're in boot camp, there's this story that they spread, okay? And you know how word of mouth is with people. That when on the way to Vietnam, you have to get a shot, okay? And you get the shot in Guam. And it's a shot into your left nut with a square needle. And so... Yeah. The next morning, everybody's up and kind of looking at each other like, oh, my God, what the hell's going on? All right, we're going over here. We're going to get a shot for your blood. Hemoglobin shot. I'm thinking, oh, square needle. Oh, shit. So we all go to this hangar, but now there's probably right at around 100 people. And they say, get in a circle. So you get in a big circle. Everybody face the center of the circle. So everybody turns and faces in. Drop your drawers, bend over, and grab your ankles. And there's like 3 or 4 doctors. And they start working their way around this circle. And, of course, you can hear what's going on. And you hear a couple of guys or 4 or 5 guys down the way going, ooh, ooh. And you're thinking, oh, my God, that's got to really hurt. And it's just a regular needle with a shot for your hemoglobin to thin your blood. So when you get to Vietnam, you don't pass out from the heat.
Wow.
But the whole square needle thing was just a story they spread to freak you out.
Yeah, it happens. Okay, so you're in Guam. I don't know how far that is from Vietnam. I would imagine it's quite a ways, huh?
Probably, I don't know, maybe 1,000, 1,500 miles, something like that.
Damn. So, and then they chopper you in from there, or do they?
Oh, they can fly in with a jet,
Really, you get on another plane, you go to Vietnam. So what happens when you get there?
When you get there, you go into kind of like an airport, but it's just a big warehouse-like building. And you go in, and you have to go up and get your papers of where you're going, okay? And they'll look at it and say, get in that line there, getting over there, whatever. And then you have to get on a particular truck and you drive to wherever it is you're going to go. In my case, we went over to towards Dodge City. Actually, it was Hill 50. No, not Hill 55. I don't remember. Some base or on the side of a road out there somewhere.
Okay. So you get there. Are you still under the impression that you're just liberating the South Vietnamese people? I mean, is that kind of what they had to talk to you and tell you, we're going over there for this purpose? So what purpose did they give you for?
They talked about that stupid domino theory. If it falls, this will fall, and person in the whole world will be communist. Blah blah blah. And then the whole realization for me was it was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the war was illegal. I still think it was illegal, and I think it cost a lot of American lives needlessly.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say, "Oh no, yeah, that was the thing to do." Okay. So, did what they wanted.
Okay, so you get there. Do you remember if it was in the morning or the night or? when you landed in Vietnam?
It seems like it was around 10, 11 o'clock, something like that.
PM?
AM.
AM? Wow. So I guess you get your assignment and you end up making your way into, I guess, where the conflicts are and things like that.
Yeah, and these military bases over there is just a conglomeration of tents.
Right.
With some barbed wire and stuff around it, and get a lot of military going in and out, and blah blah blah, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
The second day I was there, I was going somewhere. I don't know where I was going, but I was by the main gate that comes in, and there was these two guys that had been in country, and you could tell then because they're not shaven, their hair's not cut, and they look like they're about half-ass wore out. And they're talking and walking, and here come this other guy, walked by him, and he stopped and says, "Stop," to them. And they stopped and turned around and said, "Don't you salute an officer?" They looked at him and they said, "Well, there's no such thing as murder in the bush, right?" And he kind of looked down, turned around, and walked off. 'Cause, and that's the way it was. I mean, officers to me had a really, really hard time because you piss a bunch of them off, and they'll have to whack your ass when you're out there in the bush.
Yeah.
Who's to say what, And some of the officers were just stupid, Some of them had their shit together, and you could tell they didn't quite go along with what everything else was doing anyway,
Yeah.
It was just a big mess.
So I guess what I'm trying to lead up to, so you get there 10 a.m., how long was it before you kind of got into your first actual firefight?
Oh, about 3 days, I think.
Really? Yeah, that seems pretty quick.
Yeah.
You don't really get too much of a chance to acclimate to the weather and acclimate to the conditions.
Oh, no. When you get there, you got to be ready to go right there. But they took all the new guys coming in, and they would put them outside the camp in these little bunkered areas. Sandbags, a couple of posts, and a little bit of a roof on it.
Mm-hmm.
And because they know everybody's scared, so they're not going to go to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
But I was out there with one guy. This was the second night I was there, and they had this old army cot in there. And there was always two of you in one of these things. Mm-hmm. So one would be watching while the other was trying to catch a little sleep, and not very successfully. But I'd been up for a while. I said, "Look, I'm going to lay down." He said, "All right." So he gets this rifle. He's standing there like he's looking. You can't see anything. So I looked at this army cot, and it had a split starting in it. And I thought, I would lay down kind of careful and lay down and kind of, okay. And I'm laying there. I look at the sandbags up above me. I noticed this one sandbag's got like a hole or something in it. I thought, I wonder what that's all about. And all of a sudden, a little bit of the sand and stuff started coming out, and I looked, and there's a giant rat up there. I said, "Oh my God!" And the guy trying to go, "Oh shit!" And he turns around with his rifle, and he's going to shoot this rat that's right above me. And I'm going, "No, no, no, no!" And the rat falls down and lands on my chest. And this guy's coming around with this rifle, and I'm thinking, "Oh hell no!" I'm trying to get out of this thing. The rat's trying to get out, and this guy's trying to kill everything. That scared the shit out of me. But after that, I didn't really sleep too well in any of those places.
Yeah, I bet.
But yeah.
So how did it work after that? I mean, so they start sending you guys out. I mean, they would just say, "Hey, we heard about some VC in this area. Y'all go check it out." Or, I mean, was that like the standard operative plan? Or
well, that's every battalion and division had their own TAOR, tactical area of operation. Okay, mm-hmm. And I guess it worked fine. I don't know, but after I'd been there probably 4 or 5 months, one day a colonel came in and he goes, "Well, change the plans." And okay, he says, "We're starting swing battalion." Said, "All right, what's a swing battalion?" So anybody in our entire area makes contact with the enemy, okay, you will be aboard helicopters and fly over there to engage that enemy. No matter what anybody else is doing, you're going. You'll be on for 3 months, and then you'll be off for 10. So we went on swing battalion, and we were on swing battalion for almost 9 months.
Wow.
So every time somebody saw a gook, no matter where it was, we were on helicopters heading that way. Crazy.
You know, I often wonder if it was hard to distinguish between the South Vietnamese and the Viet Cong. You know, because when you're out, I guess y'all had South Vietnamese guys fighting with you, right?
No, they were separate. They're called ARVNs. Okay,
ARVNs. Okay.
South Vietnamese Army. Okay, useless. You're better off to send them to the house. You know, but they would go to one area, like a base camp with supplies, and they would go there, 4 ARVNs, and they'd be issued rifles, the old World War II M1s that are ridiculously unreliable.
Okay.
They would be issued the rifle and a certain amount of ammunition. Then they'd turn around and they'd go 10 or 15 miles down the road to a regular Marine or Army Corps base and say, here, I don't want this anymore. And they'll hand the rifle in and the ammunition, and they get paid for them. So they pick up a rifle here, walk down there, sell it back to you.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. But there's a lot of weird shit happening over there. The thing that got me was all the funny stuff that happened.
Okay.
After, I say about 2 months, I became a squad leader myself. And the squad is supposed to be of between 12 and 13 people. I had 7. Okay. But we were in this one little area. There was like a little Buddhist temple type thing there, been abandoned. And about a quarter of a mile away, there was a river. And then on the other side of that, more land, blah, blah, blah. And we get a call one night that the 3rd Marines were driving the Vietnamese up to the river. And when we get down to the river, we're about 20 foot up on a cliff. They said, get down there and get set in. We're driving across the river, you shoot them. I said, oh, okay. So we went down, and I said, okay, you guys go over there, you guys go over there, and blah, blah, blah. Me and the radio man are here. And it's kind of a little sumped area. And as I got down, I noticed there's holes about that big around. And I thought, I wonder what made these holes, just weird stuff. So me and the radio man are down, and the guys are spread out on either side. And the radio man says, what the hell was that? I said, what? There's something moving in there. I said, moving in where? He goes, in the holes, because there's a whole series of these holes. And I said, really? So I started looking, and I thought, it's almost nighttime, and
right.
We're looking at it. I can't see a damn thing. He goes, oh my God, and he jumps up and starts running. And I said, what? He goes, it's a giant snake. I said, what? And I looked, and then I could see it moving in there. I would guess it to be probably 12 to 15 foot long and maybe 6 inches around.
Yeah, that's a big snake. Yeah.
Yeah, and when a snake that big, I don't really stick around to see if it's poisonous or a friend or anything else. I'm gone, Just weird stuff like that. That little temple thing, months later, we had been doing a push through that area, and they set up a little command center inside. Mm-hmm. And of course, the rainy season, which is 12 months out of the year, guys walking in and out with their boots attract mud in there. This is true. Every morning. I'm going to
adjust your mic here just a little bit. There we go.
Every morning when you got up, and of course, the grunts out here slept on the ground. The big shots were in there with the radios, right? So every morning you get up and go in there, the floors were clean. No mud. They'd been swept, mopped, and polished, it looked like.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
And it was abandoned. So
yeah.
Somebody still maintained it, I guess.
No, there was nobody there but us.
Huh.
Because some of our guys, like lieutenants and captains, actually slept in there. So if somebody had been in there mopping and cleaning and polishing and all that, somebody had seen it. There's somebody up all the time.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that's crazy shit there.
Yeah, it is weird.
And then a few months later, we were out in Dodge City, and this colonel or general or somebody showed up, and they wanted to get their combat ribbon. Well, the only way you can do that, you got to be out in the bush at least overnight. Okay? So there was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 companies, almost a battalion of people went out there, and made a big circle, all that stuff. And they said, all right, yeah, dig a foxhole. Well, the area where we were at, there was already a foxhole from somebody else some other time. I said, that works for me. I had to dig a hole. So I had me and my guys, and what I did, I would divide the night up in hours and say, okay, you're on from here to there, you from there to there, and you from there to there. And the crazy thing about being on watch in enemy territory at night is, if I'm on watch and I'm sleepy, I'll wake you up. I said, man, you get up and you go, right? When I lay down, I can't go to sleep because I don't know if you're going to nod off and I get my throat cut in the middle of the night.
Right.
And that's the way it works. Well, it's about, I would guess, 5:30, 6 in the morning, dawn. And a friend of mine, Mike Hendricks, was on watch, and he's sitting there and he's doing like everybody else, head bobbing, trying to stay awake and watch, and all of a sudden the most blood-curdling scream you ever heard cut loose. Everybody jumped up and blah 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 blah, shooting. What it was, they had one of them damn rock apes up there in a tree, had been sitting there all that time, and decided to jump down right in front of Mike and it scared the living shit out of him. It scared me too.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff like that happen.
So, what was the, I guess, most afraid that you ever were in the middle of an actual conflict, in the middle of a firefight?
Oh,
so,
well,
I mean, when you were just scared shitless and things just went wrong, maybe, or
2 times.
Okay,
2 times. The first time, we were sent over off of Route 5, and my instructions were to go, and you always have these checkpoints, Chevy, Charlie, whatever, and you make your way to where you think this checkpoint is. Okay? And then once you get there, you call in and say, yeah, I'm at checkpoint Charlie or whatever, and then you go to the next one. And usually the 3rd or 4th one is where you sit in and you watch at night because you're setting up an ambush. Okay? Well, on this Route 5, there was a little PPB there, permanent duty station, a permanent patrol base here. It's small, okay? And then about 2 miles down, they had those gun towers put in, okay? And they were probably, I don't know, 3/4 mile, a mile apart, something like that. And so we crossed Route 5 and went down through the jungle, stopped, called in. Went again, stopped, called in. Went to the 3rd one and called in. All of a sudden, all hell broke loose. They were shooting at us. See? And it wasn't the enemy. It was other Marines out of that guard tower and out of the base were shooting at us. And I was screaming and hollering. I was on the radio and just raising the hell with them. What the hell is wrong with you people? That scared the living shit out of me. And then another time we were on Hill 22, and around 8 or 9 o'clock at night, I got a call to go up to headquarters, which is at the top of the hill, and see Lieutenant Corser. He goes, look, we sent a squad down over the hill facing east, go down like that, and they made contact with the enemy. And down off that hill wasn't more than maybe 80 feet, 100 feet. He said, I need for you to go down off the east side or the west side, whatever it was, and then come around and give them support. All right. So I explained to my guys, look, we're going to go down here, go around, catch up with these guys, and help them out with whoever's shooting at them. So we went down and started coming around the hill. Nobody told those guys down there that we were coming. So when they seen us, oh, guess what? They
Yeah.
started shooting at us. They said I was screaming and cussing so loud that they could hear me on the other side of the hill.
Wow.
I was pissed. Yeah, I'm mad.
So those were both instances where I guess wires got crossed, and
Yeah,
there's too
and
many
that happened a lot.
too many people on the field, I guess.
Yeah, that happened a lot too. Yeah, I remember one night we were sitting out in the middle of nowhere, and didn't see, but heard this little airplane, like a little Cessna flying around.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little red light blink, and Mike. Henry, he jumps up and he goes, "Look at that!" He takes his rifle. I said, "No! Do not shoot at that damn thing." He said, "Why not?" And I said, "That's spooky, man." He said, "What?" I said, "It's spooky. Leave it alone." He said, "What is spooky?" I said, "Just watch." It flew a little bit, and then it started circling in a tight circle, and it made a sound like that. It was Gatling guns going off, shooting one spot. I said, if you'd have shot at him, every one of us would have been dead.
Wow.
Because you can see him from up there. I guess you can see muzzle fire pretty easily.
Yeah, I would think so.
And
the Vietnamese didn't have any air support at all, did they? I mean, they just really didn't have any kind of an air force.
the first time we got caught in a firefight was I said about 3 days after I got there, 4 days, something like that. It was real close to that base there on Route 5, and they were saying then that there was some kind of air support from North Vietnamese, and what it was I don't know, but apparently they had a plane or something there, and they got chased away. But as far as I know, no, they didn't have any air support other than that one time when I was first there.
Right.
And
Wow.
we were going down the road one time in a 6x, a big truck, and there's probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 guys in the back. And most of these guys are been in country for a while and real salty, nasty attitudes. And I'm sitting on this side looking across to the guys over there and kind of minding my own business. And that one guy says to the other one that's sitting right next to the tailgate, he said, "Watch this." He said, "All right, I'll tell you when." So the one by the tailgate turns and looks towards the front of the truck. The one sitting beside him stood up and grabbed the barrel of his rifle. And he goes, "Now!" And the guy swung like a bat with his rifle, caught some Vietnamese guy riding a bicycle going the other way. Yeah. And I thought, maybe that's the reason why these people don't like you,
Yeah.
If you're going to be nasty like that to everybody you meet, somebody's going to clean your clock.
Yeah.
And I've seen some pretty nasty shit that the Vietnamese did, okay? But that's those people, okay? That's not all the people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
But
So what did you think of the enemy? I mean, as an opposing force, not
smart, yes, and extremely well disciplined.
Really?
Yeah, we went into a village one time, and I was taking my squad. And this is off of out of Route 5, I think. Anyway, we went way the hell out there in the middle of nowhere, and I heard this woo, 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 like a humming noise. So I thought, well, what the hell is that? So we got together, was listening, and it sounded like maybe a generator. All right. So I called him back, and I said, we're hearing a sound. It might be an underground generator. Let's go check it out. So we come up on this village, and we came in and talked to the head guy or whatever, and I was trying to ask him the woo woo woo, what is it? And he went like that, like he understood what I was saying. Okay, and he motioned for us to come. So we went in, and they had a pond that was probably 25 or 30 foot wide, and I guess maybe 3 foot deep. Had the biggest frogs I've ever seen in my life. Them frogs were probably that big around, and all of them, bleh, bleh, bleh. And if you're a distance away, it sounds like some kind of heavy equipment going around, you know.
Wow.
And so I said, look, everybody get in here back to back. We're going to get one of these frogs. And we never did shoot one. Couldn't shoot the damn things. I don't know why.
Wow.
So we left.
But I guess there were just a lot of instances like that were just strange. Huh?
Yeah, weird stuff. Like,
so was it mainly jungle where you guys were at, or did it just vary with the country? I mean, you know, like here you have places that are heavily forested, and you have some prairie land. Was it a lot like that in Vietnam, where it was just heavy jungle, and then there was other places that were just cleared out?
Well, I'm sure there were places that were, you know, more prairie-like or hill-like, but where I was around Da Nang, it was pretty much just all jungle.
So you stayed pretty much in the same locale your entire tour in Vietnam.
And one of the, I
guess you get to know it pretty well then.
No, because it changes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, the military comes in and they decide that this village is raising rice for the Viet Cong. They'll come in with their tanks and stuff and just run up and down all their fields, just tear it all up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's idiotic, but I had a thought. I know about the only place that you could see a long distance was if you were on the road. You know, you could see quite a ways, but most of it was just overgrown jungle.
Wow.
And then you had three-steppers and, I mean, just all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what a three-stepper is?
Right, a snake, right? You take 3 steps and you're dead. Yeah. So they're heavily poisonous.
Little green ones about like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just hang out of the tree. You walk by, 3 steps, you're gone.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So what about booby traps and stuff? I mean, you know, you see a lot of that in the movies. The shit looks pretty bad. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, it seems like when you're out on patrol, every step would be a very slow one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's all.
Were there any of those in particular that you were just typically afraid of? I mean, and more prevalent than the others?
No.
I mean, was there something that they used as a standard?
No.
You know? No.
All kinds of stuff. Excuse me. We were running a patrol out in Dodge City and walked along. All of a sudden, one of the guys just, like, his left leg just went down on the ground about 2 foot. Just, I thought, what the hell? And he's screaming bloody murder. Went over there. If you take bamboo and you shape it into something and then stick it in a fire and let it roast, it's as hard as steel. Okay. What they would do, they would take a block of wood, a piece of bamboo with like a big giant hook, sharpened, and fix it to the block of wood. And then they put a grenade underneath it with the pin out. So if you lifted your foot, the grenade would go off.
Right.
Well, this old boy stepped in there, and it went through the bottom of his boot, the little piece of metal in there, and his foot, and come out the top. And the hook was on the outside. So, you know, if he lifted his leg, it was going to be gone.
Yeah.
So what we did is we all took our flak jackets off, and we wrapped his legs with flak jackets, his crotch, and put as many flak jackets on him as we could. Okay. And then one of the guys got back about 15 or 20 foot and run like a bat out of hell and tackled it and jerked him right up out of that hole, and boom, it went off. But being that close, it goes up and over.
Yeah.
So the only real damage done to him was stepping on that punji pit.
Wow.
And then, they put out mines in the ground. And most of the time they didn't even mark them. And like that village with the frogs. When I went in there, I noticed something that blew my mind. I thought, how in the hell do these people do that? There was, because of bamboo all over the place, they had a bamboo tree about that big around. Okay, and it was up, I'd say, probably 20 foot. Okay. At the top of it was a block of concrete with nails and bamboo spikes and all kinds sticking out of it, hooked with a tripwire. And they did that for the protection of the people in their village. So once they closed the gate and they set that, if you open that gate or come in there and hit that tripwire, that block of concrete coming down on your ass. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's some rough business there.
Yeah. But the Vietnamese were kind of strange in a lot of ways. They, like a lot of guys would take the ace of spades off a card, and they would stick it in their netting on their helmet, because Vietnamese are really, really superstitious. And they see an ace of spades or a picture of a devil or something like that, they freak out.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't know they were really religious people like that. I guess they are, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's strange, too. If two guys are walking down the road holding hands, that's fine. Or if two girls are walking down the road holding hands, that's fine. But you see a girl and a guy holding hands walking down the street, they're liable to get stoned.
Really?
Yep. That's something you don't do.
Yeah.
And they had what they call them, Montag? I can't remember the name of it really. Montag or something like that. People lived up in the mountains. And the instructions we got was, if you were ever up there and invited to dinner, go ahead and accept the invitation and eat. The food's probably good, but don't eat it all, because if you eat it all, that tells them that, ooh, you're still hungry. And they'll give you another plate, and they'll keep doing it until you explode.
Wow.
Yeah. They'll keep them. So you always leave something in the plate so they don't, offer you any more.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, all kinds of strange stuff.
So let's talk about death a little bit. Before you went to Vietnam, had you experienced death in your life? I mean, had you had any loved ones die or anything?
No, not really.
Wow. So you go to Vietnam, and I would imagine, and I've never fought in a war or been in that situation, but I would imagine it's like death everywhere, death every day, the smell of death's in the air.
Not really. It's the best description I could ever give Vietnam was long periods of complete terror, followed by longer periods of complete boredom. But the first guy I saw die, that I was close to that died, they called him Turk, because he was from Turkey, came to the United States, joined the Marine Corps to get his citizenship.
Okay.
And we went out to Dodge City, and there was Viet Cong already there. There's a river going through here. We had to go across the river, walk across the river, hold our rifles up and all that. Get on the other side, and they're already shooting at us. So the people in charge said, all right, 3-man teams, go. So 3 guys at a time would get up and run across this freshly plowed field. It's not like a plowed field with a tractor. This is done with an ox. Okay. So you're talking about clumps of dirt that big around.
Yeah, just a mess.
So I jump up and I'm running. And they say, don't forget to zigzag, makes it harder for them to shoot you. Anyway, so I'm about 3/4 the way across. And a clod or whatever caught my foot and I fell. And as I'm falling down, I hear zip, a bullet go right over my head. And I turned, and this is still before I actually hit the ground. I turned and looked, and I saw Turk get it right dead in the heart. And I was stunned, because he was like surprised. And before he fell, he was dead. That quick. And I thought, my God, that's fast. And you always hear, oh yeah, death is, faster than the blink of an eye. It actually is.
So it took him out immediately.
Oh yeah, he never felt the dirt when he hit the ground.
Wow.
And there was a guy that was our so-called company barber that would cut everybody's hair. And he come running across there and almost up to me. I'm behind the rice paddy dyke now. And I see his arm do like that. And I thought, what the hell? Well, he gets over there and I look, he's bleeding. I said, hey, man. He goes, yeah. And I said, you got any of those Darvon pills? The little pills, in case you get shot or whatever. So he pulled out a little bottle of them things. I poured them out in my hand. I took them all apart. And they had these little pink balls in them. So I got all the little pink balls and took all the white powder and threw it away. and the pink ball is what sends you into Never Never Land. You know?
Okay.
And I said, here, take this. And she took it, took a little drink. And I waited a couple of minutes, and we started watching him, and he starts getting all kind of whoppy-jawed. I said, look, you've been shot. He goes, really? I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to fix your arm. So roll over here. So he rolled over, and what it was, the bullet hit him here and went down and blew his elbow out. Okay. Well, they have what they call halazone, which is you put a couple of tablets in your canteen and fill it with water. Even out in the middle of nowhere, in a buffalo field, you could fill it with water, and halazone will kill all the germs and everything.
Okay.
So I took a couple more of the halazone tablets, dropped it in my water, and it dissolved really quick. So I took and poured that water with the halazone on there, okay, to clean it out. And then we had something that was sort of like iodine, I think. Yeah. Anyway, I squirted that crap on there, and I took and washed my finger like this, and I reached in and I pushed them bones back in there like that, pulled the meat up, and then taped it shut. And I said, man, you're going home. So about 2 or 3 months later, I got a letter from him, from I think it was Japan. I'm not really sure. But anyway, he told me he really appreciated me putting that back in there, that if I hadn't have done that, he'd have lost his whole arm. But
Wow.
what they did, they went in and cut the bone and put, I think he said they put a glass elbow in there.
Yeah.
So,
The elbow replacements are pretty common.
yeah.
So, is that how it was? You get shot, you go home? So, I mean, like...
If you got shot, bad enough.
Okay. So, if you just got a flesh wound, they let you heal, keep you working.
Yeah, well, again, it depends how bad it is. We were burning brush around one of our PPBs and had some old ammunition out there nobody saw, and one of them went off and caught me right there. Beep! I said, damn, I've been shot. Okay. Well, I had to squeeze it to get any kind of blood to come out.
Yeah.
And they said, you're not getting a Purple Heart for that. Bullshit. Well, whatever. But, yeah, if you got shot and it was, debilitating enough, well, then, yeah, you'd be going home.
Yeah. Wow.
And Mike Hendricks, we called him Jimmy because of Jimi Hendrix. But I think we were up there on Charlie's Ridge, and we're marching along in a staggered column. And I just happened to look up, and I saw Mike kind of like his legs and his arms were straight down, but he was going up in the air. And I looked, I thought, wow, this is really weird. And then he kind of just laid over, hit the ground like a sack of potatoes. And I realized he stepped on a mine. Okay. So I run up there, and I told everybody, freeze, don't move. I went up there and checked him out, and blah, blah, blah. And I told everybody, start looking. We're in a minefield, and sometimes that's just the way you found him. And so anyway, they got ready to medevac him out. And I said, well, you got yourself $1 million wound there, Mike. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, you're going home. He got peppered all the way up his crotch and his legs up into his belly with little pieces of shrapnel from nails, glass, and shit like that. But none of it that would kill him.
Yeah, just major pain, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were good about that too, the Viet Cong, because if there were two of you out there, they'd shoot one of you but not kill you, because that meant the other guy would have to take care of you.
Right.
No.
Yeah, one wounded man is a whole lot worse than one dead one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can dig it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So what about killing? I mean, I know that everybody down there, I'm sure at one point or another got to shoot somebody.
Oh yeah, killed a lot of people.
How did it feel at first? I mean, were you regretful? Did you ever remorse?
No. The first one where I actually took time and aimed in on him and killed him. Okay. We come up on a hill, and my squad had gone from like 7 down to like 4 people. So it was me and it wasn't Roger Sturdahl, me and somebody else, and maybe it was Mike. Got at the top of this hill, and there were 2 people running away, and they had the black pajamas on. And the lieutenant, whoever, says, shoot over the head and get them to come back. So we, pow, pow, and lot eye. It means come back.
Okay.
One turn and started back. The other one kept going. They said, drop him. Nail him. Well, kind of find out it was a 65-year-old woman, okay, Catholic with a rosary.
Ugh.
Yeah.
First one. That was your first one.
It was the first one I really aimed in on.
Okay. Wow.
And I'm thinking, damn, that kind of like sucks.
Yeah.
So anyway, we ended up forming a perimeter around her. Okay. And the lieutenant, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he was trying to console the old woman. She was going to die.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm standing there, and I see somebody on the other side, and I said, "Hey, man, you got a cigarette?" "Yeah." Well, they were passing around. Well, this lieutenant, can't remember his name. Anyway, he come unglued on my ass. "How can you be so damn disrespectful? Blah, 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 blah. And you're the one that killed this old woman." I said, "The old woman don't mean shit to me, and it's not my problem. It's the government's problem. They sent me over here to do this shit, so they're going to take the blame."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I felt about it.
Makes sense.
It would
can
bother
see
me
it.
more to kill a puppy than to kill another human.
Wow.
Because humans have enough sense to realize they shouldn't be doing what they're doing to piss me off. A damn dog don't have any sense like that.
Yeah. I can see that.
Now, if you have a bad dog, yeah, I'd kill some bitch in a heartbeat. Okay.
Yeah.
But just a normal dog, a chicken or a cat or whatever, no, I don't want to kill any of them.
Right.
But I bought a .22 pistol when I got home and had it for, I don't know, maybe 6-7 months. And I was so worried about the kids getting a hold of that damn thing, I finally got rid of it. Okay. And I haven't had a gun since.
Yeah.
Okay? And I won't have another gun. I've had people say, "Well, what do you do if somebody comes up and is going to kill you?" And I said, "Well, I guess they're going to kill my ass because I'm not going to kill them. I've killed enough people. I don't want any more of it."
Yeah.
And that's just the way I feel about it. But do I regret the people I killed? No. Because if I hadn't killed them, they'd have killed me.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it.
Okay, so you do your tour, you're coming home. What happens when you get home?
Here's the irony of the whole thing. I get ready to rotate and come back, so I have to go see a psychiatrist. Okay. So went to see a psychiatrist. He said, "I got a room back here with a table, a piece of paper, and a pencil. I want you to draw me a picture." I said, "Okay." He said, "Draw me a picture of home." I said, "Okay." So I thought, I'm going to mess this guy's mind up. I drew me a house with flames coming out, people hanging out the windows, and all kinds of weird shit going on. And he goes, "Yeah, okay, well, you're normal." I said, "Really? Damn." So anyway, they said, "All right, you got to turn everything in." I said, "What do you mean turn everything in?" "You got to turn in your rifle, your bayonet, grenades, anything else you got." "Well, wait a minute. We're like way over here, 30 miles from Da Nang. How am I getting there?"
Oh, you're still in Vietnam when they're having you turn everything.
"Oh, yeah." They said, "You're going to ride in the back of a truck." I said, "What? With no gun, no nothing? Are you crazy?" They said, "No, that's the rules." I said, "Son of a bitch." So
Keep going.
I was scared taking that trip. And about halfway across there, come up on a place where they had a little firefight right there on the road, a bunch of dead people laying all over, and I thought, damn, wish I had a gun, But so I got to Da Nang, and we went to the airport, and they said, "Well, that's your plane out there." I said, "Where?" "That big one over there." I said, "Okay, fine." So I walked over there. They said, "Yeah, go ahead and get in." And they've got these nylon strap seats that fold down from the side of the wall. There's that and a seat belt. We'll be ready to go. I said, "Okay." So I got in there. I mean, this plane was big. It had all of these aluminum boxes in there. And I thought, what the hell is all this? Well, finally, a couple other guys got on. I said, "I wonder what's in all them aluminum boxes." And he goes, "Dead people." I said, "Dead people?" "Yeah, it's a casket carrier." I think, what? Anyway, yeah, I ended up flying to Hawaii and changed planes. From there, I went to El Toro. Oh, the one I flew out of was Norton. The one I came back in was El Toro. So I get off the plane and go into the airport. What do they call that? The place where you get your tickets and stuff.
Okay, yeah, the ticket counters, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I went in there, and I walked right through the airport to the outside, and there's some cabs there. And he says, "You need a ride?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "All right, well, come on, I'll take you up there." So I guess, I don't know, 40 miles, 50 miles. I don't know how far it was from L.A. And so I get in the car, my duffel bag, still had my dirty clothes, and going down the road, and this guy's looking in the rearview mirror, and he goes, "Man, that's a hell of a tan you got." And I said, "Yeah, I just got here from Vietnam." Stops, "Get out." I said, "What?" He said, "Get out of my damn cab." Okay, so I get out. He drives off. I start walking.
Wow.
I had to hitchhike on into L.A. This is all within 24 hours of being in a firefight.
Right.
Damn.
So I mean, what'd you expect when you got home? Had you already heard stories about that you guys were being rejected by the public? And
oh yeah, we're a bunch of no good asshole baby killing bastards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got home.
So I guess that's what you expected when you came back, huh?
Well, not really. I mean, you have no idea how bad it is. I mean, you hear stories like that, but it's like everything else. Most of it's just bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But next morning, my wife was living in a little apartment in L.A. So I spent the night with her and got up, went to her brother's place, and he said, "Well, you probably need to go down there to Oceanside or San Diego." No, not San Diego. Was it San Diego? Yeah, San Diego to the Marine Corps base. I said, "Yeah, I need to get mustered out and all like that."
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, took off, went down there. But we were going down Victory Boulevard, still in L.A., and come up to some crossroad, and there's this little old woman standing there. She goes, "Here, son, you need to read this." And it was a Communist Manifesto.
Oh, God.
I thought, damn, that's okay, well, whatever. I went to turn the corner, and I said, "I don't want to read this. I just got back from Vietnam." Spit on me. Wow. And I thought, well, thank you, old bitch.
So when you muster out, they give you any money? They help get you started? Ask you if you have a place to live? I mean, is there a reintegration program?
No.
The
last 3 or 4 months of Vietnam, they tell you, well, you're not getting paid anymore because we're going to keep that money back, so when you get out, you got some money to run on.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds good. All right. So I got down there, and, well, you're going to get standard mustered out pay. I said, well, how much is that? $180. I said, $180? He said, yep. I said, well, I haven't been paid for the last 3 or 4 months. So what's going on? They said, oh, you're going to have to talk to your recruiter. Mine was in Oregon. I'm in California.
Wow. Yeah.
I never did get paid.
Wow.
To this day, they still owe me that money. But do you think I'll get it? No.
Doesn't look like it.
In 1980, I got a deal from the Veterans Administration that I owed them like $900 for going to their school. So I wrote back to them. I said, you made a mistake. I didn't go to your school. And a month or so later, they sent it. Now it's $1,200 because I didn't pay the $900. And again, I didn't go to your school. So now it's $1,500. I'm thinking, well, shit. So I called Kansas City, Marine Corps Dispersing. I said, look, you guys never paid me the last 3 or 4 months that I was in Vietnam. You pay me. I'll pay that to the VA, and everybody be happy. You leave my ass alone. Well, we don't have to pay you. It's been more than 7 years.
Wow.
So I called the VA, and I said, look, it's been more than 7 years. I'm not paying your ass. They said, that's fine. We'll just take it out of your income tax. I said, go to head on.
So let me ask you this. It's been 40 years since all this,
Yeah.
maybe longer, I guess. I haven't done the math, and it's still kind of early for me. It's been a good number of years.
Yeah.
and I guess you've had a chance to mentally deal with it all. I don't know if PTSD ever fades, if it gets better, but
I don't know.
My question is this. What do you think of war now? As an older guy, having been through it, do you think that war is an antiquated idea? Does it still serve a purpose? Should we be at war? Should we not? I mean, just a general run through. I mean, from a guy who's been there and knows. What do you think of war?
I think war sucks.
Yeah.
I think myself that in this day and age, as far as mankind has progressed from caveman days to now, it's still necessary.
Yeah, that's it. Well, Jim, I want to thank you for showing up and doing the show, man. It's been great. And, I don't know if you'd be interested in talking more about it at another time, but I'd like to have you back on sooner or later.
Sure.
And get some more stories. So this is something I think I'm going to be doing with several people. And, I know that when you got back, things sucked, and I don't know how it's been between now and then, but I personally want to thank you for your service to the country.
You're welcome.
Whether we were there for legitimate purposes or not, everybody feels differently about that.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, you guys went down there. You went down there to protect our freedoms, and so I appreciate it, man. It was a hell of a sacrifice. And and how old were you when you were in?
18 and 19.
Damn, so I mean, you're still in your formative years at that time. So, all right, man. Well, I'm going to call it a day, and thanks again for coming out. And
Anytime, man.
We'll see you on the next one.
All right.
We're out.
Bye-bye.